That's bad.
I've owned vehicles for a year plus and never changed the oil. I've driven for hundreds of miles on bald tires. I've ignored squeaking brakes until it was metal on metal. And I think I've blown up probably 3-4 engines and a lot of transmissions. Done a lot of bad stuff with vehicles. But I saw this post talking about some of the worst modifications you can do to vehicles, and it got me thinking about the worst thing that I've intentionally done to a vehicle. And there's one thing that really came to mind pretty quickly. So back in the day, I used to trade off cars almost weekly, it seemed. And I think I still kind of have a reputation of the guy that gets rid of cars pretty quickly, but I think it's fun to just experience different cars. You know, you're not gonna get to own every single car, but getting to experience different ones I think is a lot of fun. Plus, I wasn't able to actually afford to buy it, so trading was kind of my only option. So seeing as how I was just some dumb idiot kid who was kind of lazy and broke a lot of the times, I did some really stupid things to cars. Now, obviously, there were a few cars that I did put a lot of time and effort and money into, like my 62 Galaxy, the 67 Mercury Comet I had, a few of the Mustangs I've had, the Datsun, the Volkswagen Beetle. I've had some pretty fun cars, but I've had some that I absolutely, like, I thought that I would like, and then I got it, and I was like, I don't give a heck about this thing. I'm just gonna try to improve it enough to make someone else want it, and then see ya, out of here. But there was definitely some times where I did some kind of questionable stuff that you would expect from someone who wears flat bill hats. And kind of two of them are about the same car. The first part is I used to have a Mark III Supra, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that car, and I've looked for another one off and on, and they're just, for one that was in the condition that the one I had was in, I can't afford them anymore unless I found someone selling it way too cheap. But I got that car from a guy in Grand Rapids named Dylan, and I traded him a 2003 Hyundai Tiburon for it, and kind of won on that deal, I think. It was a 87 Supra, I think, 88, 87, around those years. And the car wasn't great. It was a manual, but non-turbo, and super rust-free, very solid, but it was all primered black. It wasn't the best thing. I freaking love the target top. That's my absolute favorite thing ever. I think hard tops and target tops are the best. Convertibles are dead to me. T-tops are tolerable. But I had that car for, I don't know, a few months probably. Really enjoyed it. Cruised that around. My dad cruised his El Camino around. If you guys haven't seen, my dad used to have a 1980 El Camino that I tried to buy back a couple years ago, and the guy wanted way too much for it. I think if it ever comes up for sale again, I might try one more time. I'd love to get that car back. But yeah, he cruised that car around a bunch, and then one day, Dylan, the guy I got the car from, he messaged me and he's like, yo, I really want that car back. And I was like, all right, let's work something out. And he's like, I got this Miata. And I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll trade a Miata for a Supra. I don't know what I was thinking. So he ended up driving the car down to me, and the car was all right. It had a little bit of body rot, but ran and drove fine. It was kind of fun. The shifter felt really good. It was pretty fun to drive, not gonna lie. So I was like, yeah, screw it, I'll do it, why not? And there's probably only like 4 or 5 cars that I really regret getting rid of, and that's one of them. I wish I kept my 62 Galaxy, completely restored that thing, and it was mint. I wish I kept the 67 Mercury Comet. I wish I kept my Datsun, and I probably wish I kept that Supra. Probably a few of the Fox bodies I wish I kept too. In the Chrysler Conquest. I've had a lot of cars I should have kept. Oh well, live and learn. So I made that deal, and then probably 3 days, 4 days later, I was like, I hate convertibles. This sucks. I can't afford a hardtop for this thing. They were like $1,000. and the body rot, and it was just slow. And I was like, man, this is probably the biggest mistake I've ever made. Like, the Supra wasn't fast, it was naturally aspirated. They made like 200 horsepower new at the crank, but it just had this charm about it. Actually, quick side story on the main story. The Supra, when I first got it, it was either that same night or the next night, me, Jess, and my buddy Seth took it into town to go get some food, and on the way back hit a huge pothole, and it had like these cheaper like eBay coilovers on it. And when it hit the pothole, it broke the spring mount right off the coil, and the whole front end went pow! And we were stuck there. And I called my dad, had him come with the trailer, but the car was so low to begin with that it was bottoming out on the trailer, so I knew at this point there was no way. So I like drove it carefully over onto the side road where there was like a hill that kind of did one of these, and I did like a 16-point turn backing it up and getting it lined up so that once the trailer showed up I could drive it straight onto the trailer. And this one dude who lived across the street came out and he's like, what the frick are you guys doing? I thought you were like high as hell. But yeah, I ended up getting that home, getting it fixed, and drove it for a little while longer. And so anyway, back to the Miata. I just regretted it, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with it, or how I was going to get rid of it, something like that. I knew that I needed to fix the body on it, because it had, like, behind both doors, there was just a bunch of rot, like a hole literally this big. I really just, for whatever reason, didn't want to weld the sheet metal in, even though I'd already done a few times. So what I did was I went and I got some spray foam, like the expanding Great Stuff foam, and I filled that whole section with probably like this much, 1 cubic foot of Great Stuff foam, and shaved it down, put some Bondo over it, sprayed some flat black on it, and it looked perfect. You could never tell. And I ended up putting the car on eBay, and this was like 2013, maybe? 2013 or 14. And I put the car on eBay, and it sold for, I want to say, 2,500 bucks. And they came and picked it up, happy as could be, and drove it home. And I was like... And to this day, that might be the worst thing I've ever done to a vehicle. Don't do that. Like, as someone buying a vehicle, I'd rather just see the rot than it be covered up. So I do actually feel bad about it. And I feel worse about trading the Supra for a Miata. But, oh well, live and learn. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thought it'd just be a fun, quick little side story while I'm out here cleaning the shop, because it is a mess. But like I said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for subscribing, clicking that bell. I'll see you next time.